I'm Martin from Claremonts.com. What we're going to do now is we're going to learn how to play the game of Texas Holdem Poker. Texas Holdem, it's been a big booming game, hasn't it, in the internet era, and you can be a big part of it, and the best thing to do is to learn how to play it properly before you start playing the game. That's what I'm here to do. I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of Texas Holdem Poker. What is it? It's a game of poker against other players. Eventually, there's going to be 7 cards in play. 2 are kind of secretive, they're your own cards. 5 cards laid out across the middle here. And if the best player, or the one with the strongest hand, will win, and I'll talk you through it. You can see on the table here, you've got something called a dealer button. You'll see this when you're playing online. Everybody takes their turn to be dealer. The dealer button will move around after every hand, so everyone takes their turn. To the left of the dealer, that's the person who starts the betting off in every single hand. They're called the small blind. That'll be, in this case, here's the dealer. So to the dealer's left, here's your small blind. To their left is what we call the big blind. So what are the blinds? The blinds, they're the things that start the action going. They're the things that they're compulsory bets, so that we've got some action, we've got some betting to start every hand off. In this case, we'll say the small blind is one of these $5 chips here, or £5 chips. So the small blind to the dealer left will be 5. And the big blind has to be twice as much. So in this case, we'll call this what we call a 5-10 game, the 5 being the small blind, the 10 being the big blind. You'll see games of all different levels on the website. This will be a 5-10 game in this case. 5 blind, 10 big blind. So that started our betting going, hasn't it? What happens next? We've got our table set, we've got our players. We have the cards dealt out initially. You have just 2 cards each, so out come the cards to we'll have 3 players playing in this example. There you go, 2 cards to each player. And the players, as the cards go over the line there, we'll have a little look at their cards, a little think, have they made a good start to the hand? We've got the betting started, so we've gone small blind here, we've got the big blind here, so we'd say the action, the next person to act in the hand is, again, as it moves around clockwise, the player to the left here. So we've got the small blind and the big blind, so what does the player here have to do next? Well, the action is now 10, that's the amount of the bet, so they've now got 3 different choices. Very common terms in the world of poker are these 3 phrases. They are to fold, they are to call, and they are to raise. So let's go through the 3 different options for the player in the 3rd position here in this example. If he folds, that's pretty straightforward. He looks at his cards, he sees that the betting is 10, he thinks, oh, that's too expensive, I don't have a very strong hand. Discretion is the better part of valor. I'm going to fold my hand, so the cards will be folded. Nothing ventured. You can actually have many hands in poker where you don't lose any money in the game. Quite nice. There's a second option, is to call. To think, well, I'm not doing too badly, but I don't want to commit too much to the hand. To call at this stage would be just to match the bet. There was 10 there. The bet will again be 10 more. If he does that, the action keeps moving around in a clockwise direction until it comes to the next player. The 3rd option is to raise. Now, raising is when you add money to the pot, you build it up, you could call it by playing aggressively. An aggressive player does a lot of raising. And to raise, you have to double the amount that's been bet previously. Here, the amount is 10. So if the player in the 3rd box was going to raise, the minimum he would be able to do that would be 20. He couldn't bet 15, that wouldn't be allowable. You have to double it up. So he can bet 20 or more. So we'll say he has bet 20. The action then moves around the table. The player in the box here, he has to now have 20 committed to the pot. He's got 5. We'll put him in for 20. We'll move the action around to the next player to his left. He's again got the same options. He's committed for 10, the bet's 20. He can fold, he can call it at 20, or he can raise it again. We'll put him in for a call. At this stage, everyone's got the same amount committed to the pot. That's when the round of betting ends, and all the money goes, as we say, into the pot. It's going to be played out at the end. So that's the end of the 1st round of betting. After this, what we do is we'll now draw 3 cards down. This is called the flop, where the dealer will, in a real game, burn a card, just drop a card there, and then 3 more cards are drawn to the table. Now, you with your 2 cards here are going to be matching up, seeing how strong a poker hand that you can produce here. This is called the flop, and again the betting will open up again to the left of the dealer. Whoever is the player left in the hand to the left of the dealer is, we say, the first to act. A little bit differently to the 1st round here, because there's no compulsory betting already out there. You can at this stage do something that we haven't talked about, which is called checking. Checking is when there's no action, but you don't want to commit any money at this stage to the pot, but you don't want to get out of the pot either. So you can just check, and move the action around to the next player. So you can maybe go check, check, maybe perhaps the third player here, he wants to bet into the action. We're in a 5-10 game, so the minimum bet here would be 10. So we'll have this player here maybe very, very confidently betting 200 chips, getting a bit of action going in the game. The betting then moves around again in that clockwise action to the next player who's here. He's now got those 3 options we talked about before, where he can fold, he can call, or he can raise, just like in the first round of betting. In this example then we'll have the player calling the bet. The third player here, he's then got the same 3 options. He can match that 200, he can raise it to 400 or more, or he can think, oh no, my cards aren't quite good enough, I've seen the flop, I haven't got a strong enough hand. So in this example, let's have the third player folding his cards and he's out of the hand. So we've just got the 2 players remaining. All the bets are equal. So again, that's the end of that round of betting. Call the flop and the pot is building up nicely. Next thing that happens is called the turn. The turn is a 4th card. Down it goes, over it goes. So now look, we've got 4 cards here. Hopefully you're building up a nice, strong, confident position in the hand. Again, to the dealer's left, the first to act, do you check or do you bet? What should we do this time? Maybe the player here fairly confidently bets 200. Maybe the player to his left is very confident and raises to 5. Again, the player here, we've talked about these 3 options again. What does he do? Does he fold? Does he call or does he raise? Let's in this example say you call the bet, you match the 500. So that 200 disappears, that 500 goes in. We've got the bets matched at this stage, then that's the end of that betting turn. And we're now ready for the last card to be delivered. And this is called the river. Everything can change on the river. A lucky player is sometimes known as a river rat. We've all been one. There's the last card that's burned. There's the card that goes into the middle. I see we've got a pair of 4s on board. Lots and lots of different possibilities. We then return to the player to the dealer's left to choose what you're going to do. You're going to check, you're going to bet. In this example, let's keep it nice and simple. We'll go check and check. Both players a little bit scared perhaps to commit too much into this pot. The hand is now complete. The last thing to do is to see who the winner is. So we turn the cards over. An 8 and a 10 there. A queen and a 6 there. The winning hand in this example is this hand here. You've got 2 6s and 2 4s, what we call a queen kicker. We'll talk about the hand hierarchy in just a moment. So in this example, the player here wins the pot, all the cards are brought in. The dealer button will move across 1, and we're all ready to start our next hand.